All right, this is review sheet number 9. Number 1. A cookie recipe calls 3½ cups of flour, 1 1/4 cups of sugar, and 1 cup of milk. What is the ratio of flour to sugar in the simplest form? When we talk about ratios, we're talking about fractions. Okay? So we want a fraction. We want our flour to our sugar. Flour, we have 3½ cups. We want to convert that first to an improper fraction. In order to do that, we multiply 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 1, or 6 plus 1 is 7 over 2. So the top of our ratio is 7 over 2, okay, as a fraction. We also need to convert sugar. Our sugar is 1 1/4. We need to convert that into an improper fraction. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 5, we keep our denominator of 4. 5 over 4 is that as a improper fraction. That is the bottom of our ratio, 5 over 4. Okay, so now we have a division problem involving fractions. Okay, we're going to use our keep, change. So we have 7 over 2 divided by 5 over 4. So I just rewrote that right there. Okay, now we're going to rewrite it as a multiplication problem. We're going to keep the 7 over 2. We're going to change our division to multiplication, and we're going to flip. We're going to change our last fraction to the reciprocal, 4 over 5. When we multiply fractions, we just multiply straight across. 7 times 4 is 28. 2 times 5 is 10. You get 28 over 10. That's a completely acceptable answer. Or we could reduce it. Both the top and the bottom both go into 2. 28 divided by 2 is 14. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 14 over 5 is our answer. Number 2, a taxi company charges an initial fee of $6 plus $2 per mile for taxi fares. The total bill for Megan was $30. How many miles did Megan travel in the taxi? Okay. So first thing, we need our let statement. We're going to say let x equal the number of miles. Okay. So this is our question. How many miles? Okay. So as soon as she gets in the cab, okay, she is charged $6. Okay. It also costs $2 per mile. We don't know how many miles. That's our x. So if we multiply $2 times however miles she travels, add the initial fee of $6, we know that when we add all of that up, she spent $30. So there's our formula. 2x plus 6 equals 30. Okay. Now, whatever we do to this side, we do to this side. Okay. Subtract our 6 off to get our x by itself. 2x equals 30 minus 6, which is 24. Divide by 2, divide by 2, x equals 12. How many miles did Megan travel in the taxi? She traveled 12 miles. All right, next problem, simplify. Okay, so I'm going to put this off to the side here. We got our 8p plus 4r minus 10p plus 7r minus 16. So this is a simple combine like terms. Okay, so we have a p here. We have the p here, and remember, the sign goes with the number that goes after it. Okay, then we have a r here and r here. Once again, I include the sign in, and then we have a plain number with no variable attached to it. Okay, so 8p minus 10p. 8 minus 10 will be negative 2p. 4r plus 7r would be a positive 11r. And then our minus 16 just gets added on at the end. There's nothing to combine minus 16 with. And there's our answer. If we want to evaluate this problem, okay, we'll want to first get a common denominator. A common denominator between 2 and 4 is 4. Okay. So I'll rewrite this, negative 1/2 plus a negative 3/4, okay? And I want to make this common, so I'm going to make this a 4 plus our negative 3/4. We can leave that alone because that already has the denominator of 4, okay? So now we got to figure out, what do we do to 2 to make it 4? Well, we multiplied it by 2. Whatever we do to the bottom, we must do to the top. 1 times 2 is 2. We need our negative sign carries down. Okay, now that we have a common denominator, okay, our denominator is going to stay the same at 4. Okay, negative 2 plus a negative 3. So if I'm at negative 2 and I move farther away from 0, I'll end up with negative 5. Negative 2 plus a negative 3 is negative 5. Okay? We can leave our answer as like that, or we could change it into a mixed number, which would be 1 and 1/4. If we want to evaluate the following problem, we first, just due to a lack of space, I'm not going to write down, actually I can write it over here. Negative 1/2, because remember we don't want to tamper with our evidence. 2 times 0.25 plus 4 minus 12. Divide that by negative 3. Wow, there's a lot going on in this problem. Okay. First thing we need to do is our distribution. We need to multiply 2 times this, okay, as well as 2 times this. Okay, so we'd end up with negative 1/2 plus 2 times 0.25. So that's really 1/4. 1/4 of 2 is 1/2. Okay. So 1/2 is a 1/4 of 2. Okay, so if you did that in the calculator, you could do that, without the calculator, or you can use your calculator if you just wanted to check it real quick. So 0.25, and we multiply that by 2. You can see that it comes out to 0.5. Okay, but we also need to do our distribution here with this 2. This 2 must be multiplied by 4. 2 times 4 is 8 minus 12. Okay, and we just copy down the rest of the problem. So now we need to do our order of the operations. Our first operations, and actually we're going to convert this, let's convert this decimal to a fraction since we have a fraction here. So we had negative 1/2 plus 0.5 written as a fraction is just 1/2 plus 8 minus 12 divided by negative 3. Okay, if I have a negative 1/2 and I'm adding a half, those cancel. That goes to 0. Okay, so I'm left with 8 minus 12 divided by 3. Our order of operations, if we're remembering PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division. Division, we must do that next. So we need to do our division here. Negative 12 divided by negative 3. Negative 12 divided by negative 3 gives us 4. 8 gets brought down, plus 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. There's our answer. Number 6, find the area of a rectangle whose length is 7 centimeters and width is 2 centimeters. We draw our rectangle here. It says the length is 7 centimeters, the width is 2 centimeters. Okay. If you remember our formula for area of a rectangle, A equals length times width. A equals 7 times 2. A equals 7 times 2 is 14. Remember, we need our label, centimeters, and since it's area, it needs to be squared, centimeters squared. There's our area of the rectangle. Number 7, find the area of a circle that has a diameter of 10 inches. Use 3.14 for pi. And secondly, it wants to know, would this circle fit on a sheet of paper that has a width of 6 inches and length of 12 inches? This is a tricky question. First, we need to find the area of the circle. Then we need to find the area of this sheet of paper, and we need to decide, is that circle going to fit on that sheet of paper? Okay? So let's start with our circle. Area equals pi times r squared is our formula for area of a circle. Okay? A equals, we're going to use 3.14. Remember for pi, it told us to do that right in the question. We're going to multiply that by the radius squared. Well, it doesn't tell us the radius. It tells us the diameter of the circle is 10. Okay, so the diameter is 10. So remember, the diameter is twice the length of the radius. The radius is only half. Half of 10 is 5. 5 squared when we plug that into our formula. A equals 3.14, and that's getting multiplied by 5 squared. 5 times 5 is 25. A equals, we got 3.14 times 25, hit our equal sign, 78.5. So the area of our circle is 78.5 inches squared. Okay. Now we have the area of the circle. We need to figure out the area of the paper to decide, is the circle going to fit on the paper? So remember, we got a rectangle here, this piece of paper. We have a width of 6 inches and a length of 12. Okay. Our formula for area of a rectangle is A equals L times W. A equals 12 times 6. A equals, if we do 12 times 6, if you didn't know it already in your head, use the calculator, 72 inches squared. So if we have a circle that has an area of 78.5 inches, is it going to fit onto a piece of paper that is only 72 inches squared? No. The circle is too big to fit on this piece of paper. Our answer is no. The circle is too big to fit on the paper. Okay. Number 8. Number 8 up at the top. The length of a rectangle is 3 times its width. The perimeter is 40 centimeters. What are the dimensions of the rectangle? First, solve using an organized list or table. Then solve it algebraically by writing an equation to find the dimensions. So we need to do this problem actually twice. We need to do it once with algebra. How do you spell algebra? That's right, right? I think that's right. Don't sue me if that's wrong. Algebra, I think that's right. Okay. Oh yeah, algebraically. Algebra, there it is. Ah, see? When you don't know how to spell something, you can always look into the question. Most likely it's going to be there. So there's algebra. And the other side, we need to use our table. Okay. So if we want to use a table, we need at least 3 columns, right? Okay. We'll need a column for our width, a column for our length, and a column for our perimeter. Okay. Width, length, and perimeter. Okay. If we're doing this, we're basically guessing and checking. That means we need to have at least 3 tries. Okay. And we're told that the length is 3 times the width. So whatever number we have here, we need to multiply it by 3 to get this number here. And remember that our perimeter, okay, would be 2W plus 2L. Perimeter would be because we have a rectangle, we have our L, W, W. So 2 W's added together with our 2 L's, 2 W's added together with our 2 L's would give us our perimeter. So let's guess that our width is 1. That would mean our length, 3 times, would be 3. Okay, and our perimeter, 2W plus 2L, 2 times 1 plus 2 times 3, we end up with 2 plus 6, we end up with 8. And our perimeters, it says it's 40. Ooh, we're way off, way off. So we're going to need to increase this dramatically. Okay. Let's try 6. So if our width is 6, our length, okay, would have to be 3 times that, 18. 6 times 3 is 18. So our perimeter, 2 W plus 2L, 2 times 6 plus 2 times 18. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 2 times 18 is 36. 12 plus 36 is 48. Our perimeter would be 48. Ugh, a little bit too high. Okay, so 6 is too high. Let's go down just one. Let's try 5. Okay, so if our width is 5, that means our length is 3 times that. 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, we got our 2W plus 2L, 2 times 5 plus 2 times 15. 10 plus 30 is 40. Ooh, that's what we wanted, 40 centimeters, sorry. So now we know that the dimensions of the rectangle, okay, the width equals 5 centimeters, and the length equals 15 centimeters. That would be our dimensions. That's a way to solve it using a table. Okay? Now, if we wanted to solve it using algebra, we could say, we know, looking here, we have letters here. Okay, those are variables. So we could say, actually, we need to do this a little bit differently. We know that perimeter equals side plus side plus side plus side. So we know that the perimeter equals 40 total. That's given to us. Okay, equals. Okay, and we know that if we have our rectangle here, we know that whatever our width is, our length is 3 times as much. So 3 times x gives us the length, x would just be the width. But it's not just one 3x, there's another 3x down here, and it's not just one x over here, there's another x on the other side. So we would need to add up all 4 of these sides to get the perimeter. So we do 3x, there's one side, plus our next side, 3x, plus x another side, plus x another side. Okay? If we combine that together and flipped it around so that the 40 was on the other side, so we'll put the 40 down here. 3x plus 3x plus x is 3 plus 3 is 6, 7, 8. 8x equals 40. We have our algebra equation. Divide by 8, divide by 8, x equals 40 divided by 8 is 5. If we look back over here, that's what we ended up with. Our width equals 5 centimeters. If our width is 5 centimeters, our length is 3 times that. Our length would be 15 centimeters. Number 9. Wendy is buying hand-knitted hats for $D for each of her 4 daughters and herself. She also wants to purchase a cute $3 flower for each hat. Her total order without tax is $75. What is the cost of each hat? Okay. So the first thing that's a little tricky about this problem is we got to figure out how many hats she wants to buy. She's buying for her 4 daughters plus herself. So she's buying 5 hats. For each hat, she wants to buy a flower. So she's going to buy 5 flowers as well. Okay. If we add up the cost of 5 hats plus 5 flowers, we get our total of $75. Okay. So hats, we know she's buying 5 of them, and they cost D. If we multiply the number by 5, the price times 5, that'll be the total cost of the hats. Plus, we have to add in our cost of the flowers. Our flowers, she bought 5 flowers, and we need to multiply that by the price of those flowers, which is $3. If we add up those two, we'll get our total, which is $75. Okay. First step, we need to do this multiplication, so we bring down our 5D, plus 5 times 3 is 15, equals $75. Okay. Next up, I have my algebraic equation here. First thing I need to deal with is this plus 15. I need to do the opposite, which is subtract 15. Whatever I do to this side, I must do to the other side. 75 minus 15 comes out to 60. So I have 5d equals 60. 5 is being multiplied by d here, so I need to do the opposite, which is divide. Whatever I do to this side, I have to do to this side, so I have to divide this side by 5. I end up with d equals 12. Each hat cost $12. Number 10, solve the equation. 7.5 times 3x minus 2 equals 120. This is a distribution. 7.5 times 3x minus 2 equals 120. I need to distribute my 7.5 times 3x. Then I also need to distribute my 7.5 times negative 2. When I multiply 7.5 times 3x, I end up getting 22.5x. When I multiply 7.5 times negative 2, I end up with a positive 15. Okay? Still equals 120. All right? Once again, I have my equation. I need to deal with the number that's away from my variable first. Here I'm adding 15, so I want to subtract 15. Actually, did you catch my error there? 7.5 times negative 2 is not positive 15. This should be negative 15. Okay? That should be a negative. Therefore, I need to do the opposite, which is add 15. Add 15. Those cancel. 22.5x equals 135. When I divide 22.5, that cancels to be 1. I need to divide by 22.5 on this side. X ends up equaling 6. Our answer is x equals 6. Hope that helped.